Hello guys, and welcome back to another mod spotlight. We are spotlighting part 2 of our Xeno's Reliquary mod, which will cover most of the magical items that are in the mod. The only thing we're not covering in this is alchemy, and that will be part 3. So let's just get right into this. We're starting out with glowing water. I'm not sure if I showed this in the splash potions one, but you're going to need this condensed splash serum, which you can find out how to make in part 1. And 3 glowstone dust, and that's going to get you some glowing water, so let's take a few of these. Next we have our Cross of Mercy. This guy, 4 glowing water. This glowing water is going to be a crafting ingredient in the large majority of this stuff, which is why I decided to show it in this episode. But yeah, we got 4 glowing water, 4 gold, and leather, and we're going to take this guy. So what is this guy going to do, you might ask? Well, this thing, its main ability is that it has like a concussive blast on mobs like this, which basically just looks cool, but it also has a pretty good damage on zombies, and it's made of gold, which is going to help us a lot later. So we're also going to try this. Yeah, by the way, since it uses twice as much gold as a gold sword, it's got twice the durability. Anyway, we're moving on here. Next up, we got a holy hand grenade. This is basically just like, it's kind of like throwable TNT that only damages mobs. So we basically just insta-killed all of them, which is pretty cool. I'm happy about that. So that's pretty much all there is to the holy hand grenade, nothing too fancy. Just 1 TNT, 4 gold nuggets, and this glowing water again. Moving down the line, we got the Coin of Fortune. Now, this guy has a pretty cool ability. You can see it's 4 gold ingots, 1 glowing water, and 4 eye of enders. And that's going to give us a Coin of Fortune. So this thing has 2 main abilities. One is, as you can see right now, I just picked up all that stuff. I can pick it up through walls. But I've set up a demo here to show you exactly the distance on it. Let me just flip this lever. There we go. Now we got a slime ball. So I'm going to turn this on. And right when we get on this black line, we're going to pick up that slime ball. Right, yeah, there we go. So that is 5 blocks away is the maximum distance for this thing when it's just in active mode. But you can see there's a magma cream out there. So if you want to get that, all you have to do is crouch and right click again, and you can grab from up to 15 blocks away. So that's really good if you just want to grab all of this crap that's all over the ground in a big area. And it's just a really nice tool to have. I'd love to have that on. Although one annoying thing is if you try to throw stuff while it's on, it just spits it right back into you. Anyway, let's turn this off, put this crap away. Next, we got the Cloak of Distortion. In my opinion, the Cloak of Distortion is probably the most, overpowered item in this mod. But I still like it. So we're going to pull this out here. And it needs ender pearls to fuel it for pretty much everything, so we're going to take those. Now the first ability of this, I just right clicked. As you can see, I'm now invisible, and this is counting down. This thing gives you 2 minutes of invisibility per ender pearl. Doesn't need to be on you, it just needs to be in your inventory and on somewhere. So right now we're invisible and we can be all sneaky like. The other ability it has is that you can teleport up to 128 blocks. So this black wool here signifies where that spot starts. And I can warp out onto this thing, which is 128 blocks away. So amazing for transportation. Let's see if we can make it back. Yeah, so this is a really, really powerful tool. Probably one of the most powerful weapons in this entire mod. So that would be one of the first things I'd recommend because it's so cheap. By the way, it does need to be blue wool. It can't be another type of wool. I tried the other ones and they didn't work, at least when I tested it. So that's kind of weird, but it works. Next, we've got glowing bread. It's crafted like this, just 3 bread and a glowing water. I'm actually already using this as my food source, so you'll see how good this is later. But basically, it gives you, I think, full hunger. Yeah, and you eat it faster than normal food, but you have to spend your glowstone on it. So what we're looking at now is the Sojourner's Staff. Sojourner's Staff is, it stores torches inside of it, I guess is how I would describe it. You can see it's sucking up torches into it right now. So that's how it works for eating the torches, but that's not what I'm going to show you. I'm going to use a full one to make it a little easier to demonstrate. So you can see here, if we turn that back on, you could see the damage value is at 1 right now. So if I place a torch here and look, damage value is at 2, pick the torch up again, damage value at 1 again. So that's good. It's like 1 for 1, right? But if we place a torch out there, you can see now we went down 2 in the data values, and when we pick this up, we only get 1 back. The reason for that is that every 6 blocks that you place the torch forward, like every extra 6 blocks, you're costing yourself 1 extra torch. So if we're placing way out there, we're going to burn torches up quick. Very quick. Yeah, we're down at 16 now, and there's only like 8 torches there. 7 torches. So this thing is a very powerful tool, and it's really good for caving, but I'd be careful about placing them too far away, or you might burn through torches really quick. Next up, we've got the touchstone of Midas. This is probably one of my favorite items in this mod. How it works is it consumes glowstone dust out of your inventory, and it can then use that to fuel any gold item. That's why it's significant, by the way, that the cross back there is also gold. That thing will probably pretty much never break. So you can see we're digging with this gold pick right now, taking out all this stone, and the pick is just regenerating as we're digging up all the stone. So the touchstone of Midas is probably one of my favorite items because of that. It lets you take advantage of the enchantability of gold. It's still pretty balanced. I mean, glowstone dust isn't exactly cheap. And I just think it's a really cool addition to the mod. This is probably like the one item that I could see being like in vanilla maybe. Even though it's a little out of place, I guess. Alright, next we've got the Emperor's Chalice. As you can see, it says right here, it's an infinite water bucket. So, just saying, infinite water bucket. It does not hold lava. I'm clicking this, it's not holding. But if you put water in it, you can place as many waters as you want out of it and you'll have no issues. So that's the nice thing about it. I'm actually full right now. Yeah, I'm not going to bother getting down. I'm just going to tell you, when you drink this, you get half a hunger bar, but you also lose half a heart. So that's a very, very slow method of food, because you could pretty much make an infinite source, like say over here. You could throw down an infinite source, and then just drink, refill, drink, refill, drink. And you could eventually get your regen back up that way. It would be a slow process, but it's still pretty cool that they give you that option. Next up, we got the Salamander's Eye. This is basically your ultimate nether tool. It destroys blaze fireballs, reflects gassed fireballs, and just puts out fire in general. Let me step on this really quick. Yeah, it's gonna do all of that. Unfortunately, all I've got to demo for you right now is the blazes. I'll be demoing the rest of it near the end of the LP, but that's gonna be all I can demo right now. So if these guys want to spawn, that'd be nice. Come on, guys, don't got all day. Blazes. So this item will only work if you're holding it, by the way. You can't just have this on your hotbar in your inventory. It needs to physically be in your hand to have the effect. So you can watch right now, they're all going to shoot me, and nothing's going to happen. They're not going to be able to touch me. So, let's say that let's let them light some stuff on fire. And now we can put out all these fires, the fire on myself, and all their fireballs. So it's a really powerful tool. I love that thing. So let's just throw that away. We will be doing more with that in a little bit. But next up, we got Magic Bane. Magic Bane is an artifact of Thame, which is a tribute to some other mod. There's actually an Thame in Red Power, but that's not important. So, what this thing does, it's got a whole list of effects. Let me look at this. It has a 50% chance to inflict confusion, which is just nausea, blindness, slowness, or weakness on anything it hits. So you can see, let's take the non-powerful one. If we hit him a couple times, we should see some particle effects. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and kill this guy. Now, the other really cool effect that I like about this, well, firstly, it's a gold weapon, so it works with our touchstone, so it can still be a really valuable item. And secondly, I love this. You see that? Two-shotted. That's because this is a looting 3, knockback 2, Bane of Arthropods 4. Now you might be saying, oh, well that's not sharpness, why is it doing so much? Well, the magic bane has this ability where it adds up all of the enchantment levels. So you've got 3 plus 2 plus 4. So you're looking at, what, 9 hearts, which would be an extra 4.5 hearts of damage, which is really powerful. Basically, it adds up all of your enchantment levels, and it adds that to the total amount of damage it's dealing. So that's a really nice feature. I love that mechanic. I haven't seen that anywhere else, and it looks really cool. Alright, next up, we've got our witherless rose. We're not going to do much with this right now. All I'm going to say is you put 4 nether stars in, and your glowing water and everything, and this thing completely prevents you from the wither effect. So it basically makes the wither an absolute joke. But by the time you've killed enough withers to get this, it doesn't really matter anymore. And there are a lot of wither star recipes in this, so it's kind of necessary to have something like that. Next up, we got void tears. These are probably another one of my favorite items in this mod. So you can see we got 6 stacks of redstone ore here. And now we have a void tier with 6 stacks of redstone ore. We can right click it, and they spit it out. Or we can put it in there, I think. Yeah. Except we screwed up the recipe because it doesn't interact with project tables properly. So yeah, that's going to be our void tier. And the void tiers are pretty cool, if I do say so myself. But they're not exactly permanent, because if you want to like empty this, if you want to add more, you have to empty it first, and that's kind of annoying. So over here we've got an upgrade called the void satchel. It currently holds 64, unlike the void tier, it's not infinite. But the difference with these void satchels, firstly, is that you craft them with a filled tier, like I crafted this one filled with 1 diamond ore. If you don't do that, well, you can't not do that. You need to use a sealed tier, and it's specific to that item only. So you can see as soon as I right click, this is actively eating diamond ore in my inventory. And then if I want to empty it, I can just go over to a chest, right click, and we have diamond ore in there now. I wonder if this works. I don't think this works. Yeah, so that's the general concept of it. It's basically mass storage. However, this one can only hold 64, which is meh. That's no different than an inventory slot, right? So what you can actually do here is take these, surround them with 3 empty void tiers, and you can just keep upgrading it. So let's put it through a few more times. And now we've got a capacity of 1024. Let's see if that's enough. Just take this, and it'll start sucking up diamond ore. By the way, I don't think I actually read over this, but 2 gas tiers, 2 eye of enders for the void tier, and leather with string on top, and any filled tier in the center. It does need to have at least one of the item, and don't worry, it will retain whatever you have in it, as long as it fits. I have not tried putting like a 384 in there. You know what, let's actually test that now, because I can test that. So let's take this, fill up. What happens if I put that in there? Oh, okay, it just spits it out. So that's a nice feature. You just gotta use a filled one, because it is specific to the item. So you can see we've now got 640 diamond ore here. Can empty it into this chest, and all is good. So that's amazing for your caving runs and everything when you want to store a ton of ores. It's just a really awesome feature. I love it. Alright, next up we have the wraith's eye and the wraith node. These kind of go together. So we're going to take these guys. This is crafted with 2 emerald blocks, a salamander's eye, and 6 empty void tiers. This is not cheap, but that makes sense because it's not exactly, it's a really powerful item. The wraith node is made with 4 empty void tiers, that's all. So what we're going to do here is we've got one which is bound to a node which is over there, and by right clicking on this we can bind this one to this node. So now, consuming an ender pearl, we can warp to the nodes just by right clicking on these. And you can see every time we're ticking down 1 ender pearl. You can run over here. I don't think there's any distance restriction on these, so you could set these up all across your world and just warp around whenever you want. So that's a really cool kind of end game item, because emeralds are difficult, and that's 12 gas tiers right there. That's not cheap. So let's just dump all this back in there. And we're getting near the end now. We've got the lily pad of fertility. This seed bag is red power, by the way. I'm just using this to plant stuff quickly. So we've got two crops fields here. One of them is using our lily pad of fertility, which is 8 fertilizer and a lily pad. And one of these is just using lily pads. So I'm going to go ahead and plant these right now. And I'm going to start putting in like a time-lapse mode, and we're going to see which one grows faster. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay guys, so I'm done here. I'm not sure how long that was. I'll have to check afterwards or something. But look at the difference there. What is that, like very little growth whatsoever? And this thing's done already. So these things make a huge difference in your crop speed. So if you can afford these, I mean, they're really not that expensive. This is just like bone meal and some gunpowder and nether wart, I think. You have to check my other video about that. And that is pretty amazing. By the way, these do have like the same area as the water does, I believe. They covered around here. So like 3 in each direction, 3 to 4 in each direction. So they're pretty awesome. That's all I can really say about that. If you're looking to grow crops fast, that's the way to go. Alright, next up we've got the destruction catalyst. Don't worry, you equivalent exchange people. This is nowhere near as insane as the equivalent exchange destruction catalyst. It consumes 3 gunpowder per use. Oops, I screwed that up. And it will take out a 3x3 area in front of you. However, it only affects like mundane blocks, which is dirt, gravel, sand, stone, stuff like that. I mean, it's still pretty quick, don't get me wrong. Like, you can run along like this and do some damage, but it does not work on ores and things like that, so you can basically just clear out a big stone area and get all of it. But we just burnt through a stack of gunpowder pretty quick, so if you don't have a stable mob system, that's not really going to be practical for you. Alright, so that's pretty much all I can spotlight here in the overworld. So the last thing we're going to do is head into the nether really quick. Didn't I have a node? No, apparently not. I thought I had a node. Or wait, no, I know what it was. I was using this. Yeah, so we are going to go into the nether really quick. And I'm going to demonstrate the witherless rose and the salamander's eye and show you just how powerful they are. So we just came out of the portal and we are surrounded by blazes and ghasts. And they can't touch us. Oh god. So you can see we're not really getting touched. And the witherless rose keeps us from getting withered by the wither skeletons. So we can basically just run around as much as we want and be fine. Unless we fall in lava, but that's a different concern altogether. Oh god! But if we take this off, then we're not exactly as protected as we were, since all the gas fireballs can get through. Oh god! But if we put on the salamander's eye, we're basically a god again. So that just shows you how powerful these items can be if you use a couple of them in a conjunction. If you run into the nether with the witherless rose and your salamander's eye, and then you've also got teleportation, I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. There's no way to die, at least not easily, because you can just warp out of the way, travel the nether really quickly like this. Yeah, there are some really awesome combinations you can do with these items that will be just amazing. And also this does not take damage if you didn't notice, so that's another plus of using this instead of a pearl. But anyway, I'm going to call this an end to this spotlight. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like and all those things. And episode 3 will be coming soon, where we'll talk about alchemy a little bit. So yeah, that's going to be all for this spotlight, and I will see you guys next time.